Right now, somewhere in your brain, cells are shrinking. Not someday, not eventually, right now. And by the time you notice it in your daily life, you have already lost more than you think. If you have walked into a room and forgotten why you went in there, if you have blanked on a name you have known for 30 years, if you have found yourself rereading the same paragraph 3 times because nothing is sticking, this video is going to explain exactly why that is happening. And more importantly, I am going to show you 5 ways to reverse it, starting today. Stay with me for the next few minutes, because number 4 on this list is a method used every single day by doctors in Japan, a country where people live longer and stay sharper mentally than almost anywhere else on Earth. And I promise you, almost nobody watching this has ever heard of it. Before we go any further, if this is the kind of information that actually matters to your life, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and give this video a like. Information like this is genuinely hard to find in one place. You deserve to have it. And it helps me keep making videos exactly like this one, for free, for you. By the way, my name is Dr. Matthew Clark. I am an internal medicine and preventive health doctor, and I have spent the last 15 years working with patients just like you, men and women over 50 who are trying to protect their health and their mind before something goes seriously wrong. Memory is one of the things my patients worry about the most, and it is also one of the things I can help the most with if we catch it early enough. Before I go any further, I want to hear from you. Where are you watching from right now? Are you at home, maybe sitting in your kitchen or your living room? Drop your city or your country in the comments. I read every single one, and honestly, I just love knowing where this community is spread across the world. Now, the condition I am talking about today is called hippocampal atrophy, and I want you to hear that clearly, because most people your age have never been told that this is what is actually happening inside their brain right now, slowly, quietly, year after year. I know that sounds alarming. I know some of you just tensed up when you heard that phrase, but I need you to stay with me. You do not need to panic. You do not need to be scared. Because today I am going to explain exactly what this is, how it develops, the warning signs most doctors rush past, and the specific things you can start doing this week to protect yourself. So take a breath. You are in the right place. I want you to do something with me right now while you keep listening. Place 2 fingers gently on the side of your head, just above and slightly behind your ear. That is roughly where your hippocampus sits, deep inside your brain. It is small, about the size of your thumb, curved like a little seahorse, and it is the part of your brain responsible for forming new memories and pulling old ones back up when you need them. Here is what most people do not understand. Your hippocampus is not fixed in size. It can actually shrink over time if it is not cared for properly. And here is the part that genuinely surprised me when I first learned it in my training. Research has shown the hippocampus can lose meaningful volume as early as your 50s and 60s, even in people who consider themselves perfectly healthy. Think of your hippocampus like a garden. A well-tended garden with regular water, sunlight, and care stays full and green for decades. But a neglected garden, even a beautiful one to begin with, slowly dries out, shrinks back, and stops producing the way it used to. Your hippocampus works the same way. Starve it of the right inputs, and it physically shrinks. Feed it the right inputs, and remarkably, it can actually grow new cells, even later in life. I want to walk you through 5 things that quietly shrink this part of your brain over time, and I am going to save the most surprising one for the end, because it is the one almost nobody talks about. The first is chronic understimulation. When your daily routine becomes the same handful of tasks on repeat, with nothing new to learn or figure out, your brain has no reason to build new connections. It is like a muscle that stops being challenged. It does not just stay the same, it actually weakens. The second is poor sleep, especially poor deep sleep. During deep sleep, your brain runs something like a nightly cleaning crew, flushing out waste proteins that build up during the day. If you are not getting enough deep, uninterrupted sleep, that cleanup crew never finishes the job, and the buildup can directly affect memory function over time. The third is a lack of regular movement. I do not mean intense exercise. I mean simple, consistent movement. Physical activity increases blood flow to the brain and triggers the release of a substance called brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which acts almost like fertilizer for brain cells. Without regular movement, that fertilizer supply drops significantly. The fourth is chronic low-grade inflammation, often driven by diet, especially diets high in processed food and refined sugar. Think of inflammation like a fire alarm that will not turn off even after the fire is gone. Eventually, the alarm itself starts causing damage, and the brain is not immune to that damage. And the fifth, the one that surprised me most when I saw the research, is social isolation. Not just loneliness as a feeling, but a genuine lack of regular, meaningful conversation and connection. Studies have linked chronic social isolation to measurably faster rates of cognitive decline. Your brain, it turns out, was built to be used in conversation with other people. When that stops, a part of its natural stimulation stops with it. Now here is the good news, and I mean that sincerely. Every single one of those 5 factors can be improved, starting this week. And in a moment, I am going to give you the exact 5-step plan to do it. But first, I want to tell you about a patient of mine, because I think you are going to recognize yourself in her story. Her name was Margaret. She was 66 years old, a retired school librarian, sharp as a tack for most of her career. She came to see me because her daughter had noticed something. Margaret had started repeating the same stories within the same conversation, sometimes just minutes apart. Margaret herself brushed it off. She told me, "Doctor, I am just getting older. This is normal." But when we talked further, it turned out Margaret had stopped reading regularly after retirement. She rarely left the house except for errands. She was sleeping poorly and had been for years, waking up 2 or 3 times a night. And since her husband passed, she mostly ate alone and spoke to very few people during the week. We built a simple plan together. Nothing extreme, nothing expensive, just consistent daily habits targeting exactly the 5 factors I just described to you. Within 4 months, Margaret's daughter told me she sounded like herself again. Margaret told me she felt like a fog had lifted that she did not even realize had been there. I want to say something honest here, and I say this calmly, not as a conspiracy, just as a fact of how our healthcare system works. Our system is largely built around treating illness once it has already arrived, not preventing it in the first place. Prevention does not generate a prescription. It does not generate a billable appointment. So conversations like the one I just had with Margaret often never happen, simply because the system is not structured to make time for them. That is exactly why I make videos like this one. I want to stop here for just a second. Because if you have someone in your life, a husband, a wife, a brother, a sister, a close friend, a neighbor over 60, and what I just described sounds like them, please share this video with them right now. You might be doing something that genuinely helps protect their independence. I am not exaggerating. Send it to them. Show them this. It takes 10 seconds and it could change everything for them. And if you have not already, please subscribe to this channel. It genuinely helps me keep making this kind of information free and available to people who need it most. I want to ask you something personal, and I hope you will answer. How old are you? And does any of what I have described so far sound familiar to you? Does it sound like something you are going through, or something someone close to you is dealing with? Tell me in the comments. Because your answer helps me understand what this community needs, and it helps me decide which video I am going to make next. I make every video for you, so tell me what you need. Now stop for a second, because what I am about to tell you changes how you should think about memory loss completely. Most people believe memory decline is simply something that happens to you, like gray hair or wrinkles, completely outside your control. That belief is wrong. And it may be the single most damaging belief a person over 60 can carry, because it stops people from even trying. The real science is called neuroplasticity, and it means your brain can continue forming new connections and even new cells well into your 70s, 80s, and beyond. Age alone does not stop this process. Neglect does. So let us get into it. Here are the 5 proven ways to rebuild your memory, starting with the foundation, and building all the way up to number 4, the method Japanese doctors use with their patients every single day. Number 1 is targeted nutrition. Your brain is roughly 60% fat, and it depends heavily on omega-3 fatty acids to keep the walls of brain cells flexible and communicative. Twice a week, aim to eat fatty fish like salmon, sardines, or mackerel. Add a small handful of walnuts most days, and include berries regularly, especially blueberries, which contain compounds that have been shown to support memory function directly. Think of these foods as raw building material. You cannot build a strong house with weak materials, and you cannot build a strong memory with a poor diet. Number 2 is protecting deep sleep, not just total sleep hours. Keep your bedroom cool, dark, and quiet. Avoid screens for the last hour before bed, since the light they emit can delay your body's natural transition into deep sleep. And try to go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, even on weekends, because a consistent schedule strengthens your body's natural sleep rhythm. Remember, deep sleep is when your brain runs its cleanup crew. Protect that time like it is medically important, because it is. Number 3 is brisk daily movement, at least 20 minutes most days. It does not need to be intense. A brisk walk is enough to meaningfully raise that brain fertilizer substance I mentioned earlier. If you can walk somewhere new, even better, since novelty adds an extra layer of stimulation for the brain. And now, number 4. This is the method I promised you. In Japan, researchers developed a technique now used daily in senior health programs across the country. It is called Cognicise, and it was created specifically to protect memory and prevent cognitive decline in older adults. Here is exactly what it is. Cognicise combines physical movement with a mental task done at the exact same time. For example, walking while counting backward from 100 by sevens, or walking while naming a fruit or vegetable with every single step you take. The physical movement and the mental challenge happen simultaneously, not one after the other. Here is why this works so well, and this is the part that genuinely surprised me. Doing a physical task and a mental task separately barely challenges the brain at all, because each one runs almost on autopilot. But combining them forces different regions of your brain to communicate with each other in real time under mild pressure. That cross-communication is exactly what strengthens neural connections, including the ones inside your hippocampus. You can start today with something as simple as this. While walking, count backward from 100 by threes, or walk while reciting the names of your grandchildren, your street growing up, or the presidents in order. Just 10 to 15 minutes a day is enough to begin building this new kind of brain fitness. And number 5 is regular, meaningful social connection, combined with genuine novelty. This means real conversation, not just being in the same room as other people, a phone call with a friend, a class at your local community center, a card game with actual back-and-forth conversation. And whenever possible, choose activities that are new to you. Learning something unfamiliar, even something small, creates far more brain stimulation than repeating something you have already mastered. Those 5 things together, nutrition, deep sleep, daily movement, Cognicise, and meaningful connection, are not a cure for every form of memory decline. But they represent the single most powerful, evidence-based combination available to protect and even rebuild memory function as you get older. And unlike so many things in medicine, every single one of them is completely within your control, starting today. Before I give you the action plan, I want to know something. Is what I described in this video something you are dealing with personally, or do you know someone, a spouse, a sibling, a close friend, who might be going through this right now? Tell me your story in the comments. And if you want me to make a video on something specific that you are dealing with, something your doctor has not explained clearly, ask me. I read every comment. I take requests seriously. Your question might become the next video. So here is your action plan, 5 clear steps you can start tomorrow morning. Number 1, add fatty fish twice this week and a small handful of walnuts most days. Number 2, set a fixed bedtime and wake time this week and keep your bedroom cool and dark. Number 3, take a brisk 20-minute walk most days, ideally somewhere new. Number 4, try Cognicise starting tomorrow, just 10 minutes of walking while counting backward or naming categories. Number 5, schedule one genuine, unhurried conversation with someone this week, in person or by phone. Number 6, at your next doctor visit, ask specifically about your memory and mention any changes you have noticed, even small ones, because early conversations lead to the best outcomes. I am genuinely proud of you for watching all the way to the end of this video. That tells me you care about protecting your mind, and that matters more than almost anything else as we get older. If this helped you, please subscribe so I can keep bringing you information exactly like this for free whenever you need it. Everything in this video is for educational purposes only. I am not your personal physician, and this is not a substitute for a proper medical evaluation. If anything I described today sounds like your situation, please talk to your own doctor. But now you know exactly what questions to ask, and that is the point.